Hi, how's it going? This is Resident Collard for YouTube, resident _ of _ Collard for BitShoot. And I'm here to do my final video for tonight. This video is about Parallel Time Angelique. And really, I can't just get into Parallel Time Angelique, I gotta get into Barnabas and how he got to Parallel Time. The Parallel Time, what is the Parallel Time parallel to? 1970. Barnabas's 1970 differs from the parallel time 1970 that he's going to go into. He discovers this room that's full of furniture and has a portrait of Angelique. Lo and behold, he sees all these people that look like the people he knows, but they aren't exactly the same people. They have the same name, but their personalities are way different. At least most of them are. So, for example, in the parallel time, Angelique is, well, sort of dead. But Angelique has a twin sister named Alexa. Angelique and Alexa have a dad. Yes, parallel time, Angelique has a dad. So, then there's William Loomis, who's a writer and wrote the book Life and Death of Barnabas Collins, which made its way through the parallel time door when somebody just threw it. So then there's Carolyn, who's married to Willie. What a couple. Quentin was married to Angelique, but Quentin is now bringing home Kate Jackson's character to, well, be married. So, there's all that. Now, sorry, yeah, I think I got that right. It's okay. Anyway, see how messed up this all is? Parallel time is so crazy. I mean, and here's the thing too. Again, I can't just get into Angelique with this, but I promise you, this video is going to take a while. The whole reason Barnabas goes to parallel time is to see if he can live that life, that lifestyle of that Barnabas Collins. Here's the problem. No one explained the concept of parallel time to Barnabas Collins. Hell, by the time I watched the 1966 series on Sci-Fi Channel and I saw parallel time, I knew what parallel time was. Parallel time is, let's say there's me in this time, and somewhere, and for God forbid, in another time, there's another Jewel T. Sains, and maybe that Jewel T. Sains is a cold-blooded bastard murdering son of a bitch. Hey, could be, you never know. That's what I mean. Parallel time differs from what your time is, because that parallel person is that. They're parallel to you. The life you lead in 2020 in your time isn't going to be the life you lead in 2020 parallel time, because it's parallel. It's the exact fucking opposite of what you're living. Okay? Got that out of the way? We got that clear? Okay. This shit drives me nuts. Did I like parallel time? I've been so mixed about this, and that's where I am. I'm mixed. It has good moments, but it just has moments where it makes you want to scream. But I love Dark Shadows. So, and one of the moments too, again, Barnabas goes into the parallel time room. It's dark. Then it changes into the furniture. Now, he is literally went from 1970, his time, to that parallel time, And even he calls himself a fool before the change occurs. Now, keep in mind, this Collins family in 1970, it has no literal effect. In the 1970 parallel time, it has no literal effect on the Collins family in the 1970 of Barnabas's time. None whatsoever. The only way it would have an effect is if Barnabas Collins gets killed in the parallel time. If he never comes back. Which, by the way, if he does, he does. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's the only effect that could happen. Now, because once you die, right? So now, well, sort of, with Dark Shadows. I love DS. But still, hey, that's... Alright, so... Barnabas says the line to Willie Loomis when Willie Loomis turns his back, because Willie showed him the crucifix, and then he turns his back. And here's what gets me. You don't ever turn your back on a vampire. And Barnabas says, I will be a prisoner to fate no longer. And he kills William Loomis. Here's what gets me. Okay, before I get into Angelique. Why the hell didn't Barnabas just murder every one of these sons of bitches? I mean, seriously, what harm would that have done? None. None. Not one goddamn bit. Listen, he soon realizes he really messed up because he's still a vampire, okay? Nothing has changed for him by coming here. And the people in this parallel time, again, they have no actual effect on the people who live in the other time. None. Again, it's parallel. It's different. Now, would he have an effect on them? If he killed all? Yeah. And he, by the way, staying alive, he has an effect on them. Because once Alexa brings Angelique back to life by touching her, and I kid you not, so, okay. Once that happens, okay, Barnabas starts, he knows Angelique. Again, he knows his Angelique. So, by proxy, he feels he knows Quentin's Angelique. And that leads me to Angelique, okay? Angelique doesn't know Barnabas. Do you want to know why? Because this Angelique is not Barnabas's Angelique. Again, no one explained the concept of parallel time to the vampire. Because for the simple fact is this. Yes, Angelique is a witch. Also, Angelique has a twin sister. Do you see Angelique have a twin sister in Barnabas's timeline? No, because she doesn't. She does not have a twin sister in Barnabas's timeline at all. Parallel time means just that. Opposite. Again, no one explained this to Barnabas though. So he feels, well, I know Angelique because this is just like my Angelique. No. It's not just like your Angelique because there are many key factors here. Number one, your Angelique didn't have a sister. Number two, we don't actually literally meet your Angelique's father. We do meet the parallel time Angelique's father, who for some reason is played by David Thayer. Yeah. Oh God. Tell I'm having fun on this video, can't you? I love it. So, once Angelique gets awake, she doesn't know why Barnabas is acting this way. She doesn't even know him. And she shouldn't. You want to know why? Because, yes, though Laura Parker does play Alexa, who is completely opposite of Angelique, and Angelique is opposite of Alexa, even though they're twin sisters, they do have personality differences, which I love. Thank you, Laura Parker, for stealing another timeline. You're amazing. I could go on. Now, you literally have Angelique. Once she wakes up, Barnabas feels he knows her. He doesn't. He's wrong there. He's making too big of a leap to compare his Angelique to Quentin's Angelique. Because what we find out later from Barnabas's Angelique is she wasn't born a witch. Well, to my knowledge, for the parallel time Angelique, guess what, folks? Guess what? In some ways, she was born a witch. Because her father is a sorcerer, too. Her father's a bit of a warlock. So, it's just Alexa did not embrace the dark powers. Remember that? She didn't embrace that bullshit. And again, why should she? She's a whole different person. So, this Angelique isn't the same as Barnabas's Angelique, though Barnabas feels she is. He's wrong in every way, shape, and form. Here's the thing. And you want to know the biggest difference? How many times does Barnabas literally kill Angelique in his timeline? Not in the parallel timeline, in his timeline. A good bit of times. Okay? Angelique, even though she's married and probably banning Sky Rumson, is still in love with Barnabas Collins. Even though Barnabas Collins has killed her, she's still in love with goddamn Barnabas Collins. Parallel time Angelique gets killed by Quentin Collins. She wants to murder every son of a bitch with the last name Collins, who looks like a Collins, who smells like a Collins, and yes, I just went there. Every Collins is expendable. Every damn one of them. You want to look at the biggest characteristic difference of parallel time Angelique, it's the fact of she didn't give a two shits how much she used to love Quentin. Once he killed her, that love went right out that window and it wasn't coming back. She was going to make him pay. By sending him to prison for a crime. For a crime he really didn't commit. But again, that was her. That was how she did her. She did stuff. So, to me, parallel time Angelique. I know I spent half this video on Barnabas and another half of it on Angelique. Oh my god. But again, I had to explain parallel time. So, parallel time Angelique is not the same as Barnabas's Angelique and his son. By the way, parallel time Angelique actually gets a character theme, Ode to Angelique, which performed by Bruno. I love it. I love the fact that Angelique parallel time gets a theme, because that really separates to me from Barnabas's Angelique. And to me, I don't, in all honesty, Barnabas's Angelique, that girl didn't need a theme. You knew when she was on screen. And really, I feel that parallel time Angelique needed a theme? No, but hey, you're trying to show distinction between parallel time and Barnabas's time, and they've been showing that throughout the entire 1970 parallel time story. Key examples: Julia Hoffman, the doctor who arrives in parallel time, the other Julia Hoffman who was Angelique's servant. There is a difference in tone. And there is a difference of character history. Large difference, my friends. So again, parallel time, the whole thing really is about the separations of the personalities of the characters in that, the people who live in that parallel time, because they aren't the same exact personalities of the characters who were in Barnabas's time. And if I confuse the fuck out of you in this video, it's okay. It really is. Parallel time can be a confusing thing. God knows I just explained it and I'm lost myself. But it really is. Parallel time and Dark Shadows, again, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It has... The biggest frustration about Parallel Time, I don't think you really needed Barnabas to be there to tell it. But they take him there. Now you might say, well, they tried that with 1840 and it didn't turn out so well. Yeah, that's true. I can't say 1840 Parallel Time, again, was the goodbye, it was the end. But the Parallel Time, I don't view the 1840 Parallel Time as the end. To me, where Dark Shadows truly ends is when they're all going to the observatory. And Roger's going to give a speech. That's the end to me. The Parallel Time is just them telling you an extra story about Bramwell Collins. And really, they needed to tell that story in some sense. So, I don't mind that. And no, I don't mind the 1970 Parallel Time either. Again, I think there's good and there's bad about it. What's the good? Man, anything Laura Parker does is amazing. Listen, the chemistry between her, Fred, Hall, Grayson Hall, David Selby, by God, these people could sell their ass off, and they really could. My biggest issue with it, again, I love me some Jonathan Frid, and I love Barnabas Collins, but I sometimes think Barnabas going to the Parallel Time was a bit of the problem. Because really, he doesn't prevent Quentin from going to jail. He doesn't prevent her from going to jail at all. He doesn't. He still goes to jail. So, and he escapes because Angelique, who loves him. He thinks it's Alexa, though. Wow. But yeah. God, you see how complex this gets? You know what I mean? And that's the thing. If you have the balls to watch the Parallel Time episodes and the pure patience as I did with this, that's exactly what it requires. Pure patience and just, hey, it's, again, you've watched a series from 1966 to 1970 where you've watched these characters in the 1970s. Now they went back in time, and then they decide we're going to split time. We're going to parallel time. And parallel time is the opposite of these characters. It's their opposite life choices. If they made different life choices, this would happen. And God damn it, that's what they showed you. They showed you the character differences. That's the beautiful thing about the Parallel Time episode. That what it's telling you is there is a difference between these characters. The only ones that are the same, really, is after Dr. Hall, after Grayson Hall, who's playing another character, arrives and knocks herself out. I'm sure, stunt woman, but knocks herself out. And again, Grayson Hall is just Dr. Hoffman ends up disguising herself as the other Julia Hoffman, who is not a doctor. Okay. Then Barnabas. Is Quentin the same? That Quentin in 1970, no. The Quentin to me in 1970 is in Barnabas's time is still way more laid back. Um, but again, there's a lot of character differences. By the way, my favorite character, Cyrus, is one hell of a character. How they basically what they did with Cyrus was Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. That's the story they were doing really with him, and it's really well done. It's really good. So that's one of my favorite moments in the parallel time episodes. So, and Cyrus covered up Angelique's murder, covered up who did it, which was key. I love that part of it. Again, there's a lot of intrigue in the parallel time, and again, can you get lost in this? Again, with all the characterization a bit, if you're not familiar with Dark Shadows, but again, start from the beginning of the Coffin box set, or on Tibby, or whatever you want to watch this on, and then go all the way to parallel time, and you should be just fine, just like I am. You'll be totally fine. You won't drive yourself nuts doing this. And I've talked for 21 minutes. Alright, guys. Oh, God. I love Dark Shadows. I do. So, you guys are going to get tagged in this. Okay. Have a great night. Watch some Parallel Time and don't drive yourself crazy about it. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.